Chapter 0 of Jyl of Breyntfords Testament. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Jyl of Breyntfords Testament by Robert Copland. Chapter 0. Forewords. In hunting up Captain Cox's books lately to give an account of each of them in my edition of Lanahan's Letter, 1575, for the Ballad Society, and thus get a notion of the literature on which a reading middle-class man of Elizabeth's time was brought up, I came across Julian of Breyntfords' Testament for the first time. Hearing that there was only one copy extant of the 8 leaves of each of the only 2 editions known, I asked Mr. G. Parker of the Bodleian to transcribe the copy there for me, and as it proved to be worthy of preservation, I resolved to reprint it privately with another tract of like subject, The Will of the Devil, which I had seen in Lambeth Library 2 years ago when looking for manuscripts and books about the condition of England in Henry VIII's reign, and had then put down for reprinting in the Early English Text Society's list, but had since thought of withdrawing in order to avoid possible annoyance to the Society from any cantankerous Puritan like the one who bothered me about the Percy Folio loose and humorous songs. Both tracts are of value as illustrating the manners and tone of the classes they treat of in Tudor days, and I have no notion of leaving them to be seen only by those who can spare time and money for visits to Lambeth and Oxford for that purpose. None of us students of English antiquity are beasts or fools enough to want to possess such tracts because they contain a few coarse words. We want the whole of the get-at-able evidence, whatever it may be, on the social condition of Tudor England on our shelves, so that we may judge of it for ourselves. Moreover, Jyl of Breyntford is by Robert Copland, the one of the poet-printers of Henry VIII's time to whom we are most indebted, and who has left us the most valuable picture I know of the beggars and thriftless class of his day in his Highway to the Spittle House, which I recommend everyone to read in the reprint of Mr. W. C. Hazlitt's Remains of the Early Popular Poetry of England, 1866, Volume 4, page 17. His Highway was another of Captain Cox's books, and I have given an account of it in my forewords to Lanahan's Letter. We owe besides to Robert Copland the amusing Complaint of Them That Been Too Late Married, printed by Wynkyn de Worde, an invocation, and perhaps all the metrical translations in The Passion of Our Lord, Wynkyn de Worde, 1532, the History of Helias, Knight of the Swan, translated out of French into English by Robert Copland, at the instigation of Ye Puissant and Illustrious Prince, ye Lord Edward Duke of Buckingham, Earl of Hereford, Stafford, and of Northampton. Wynkyn de Worde, 6 February, 1512-13. The Life of Epaminondas, said to be printed by Wynkyn de Worde. King Apollyon of Tyre, a translation from the French with an original prologue, Wynkyn de Worde, 1510. The Rudder of the Sea, with the havens, roads, soundings, kennings, winds, floods, and ebbs, dangers and coasts of diverse regions, etc. London, 1528, a translation. An address before, and an envoy in verse after, a prose tract. The Spectacle of Lovers. Hereafter followeth a little contriver's dialogue between love and counsel, with many goodly arguments of good women and bad, very compendious to all estates, newly compiled by William Walter, servant unto Sir Henry Marnay, Knight, Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, W. de Worde. A copy in Mr. S. Christy Miller's library at Britwell. An address in verse by Robert Copland, book printer, to Newfanglers in 4 8-line stanzas, prefixed to Chaucer's Assembly of Fowls, 1530, and at the end, an envoy of 3 more stanzas, also another envoy to Wynkyn de Worde's edition of The Castle of Pleasure, a poem by William Neville, son of Lord Latimer. He also contributed the petition and envoy to the...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?